Hey, it is Fabian and Rich from Formula One Fans of America. We are going to do a different show from our typical format and start a slightly different one, where we just kind of do a few quick topics, run it down, keep it less than 30 minutes, and just provide our updates and thoughts on the week, especially when it's an off race week. So, like, still create content and keep the machine going because you have to do that for social media.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to talk about three major topics. One is Max and his teammates, the DRS system that's going on with the current RB car, and weather for Brazil. So Fabian, let's go ahead and jump into Max and his teammates.
Yeah.
There's been some scuttle about like who is Max's best teammate. I've got my answer, but I want to hear yours.
So one of the things that really strikes me is the integrity of what's going on in some conversations that tie into this, right? Right before Checo got bumped and thrown to the wayside, he had some comments that he floated out there, despite Marco and Christian's pushback about the RB cars and that they were built for Max. And then of course, they pushed back on that. And all the people that didn't want to believe that in the social media sphere, including people on FOFA, are like, oh, you see, no, they said it's not true. It's like, guys, don't be crazy. The man's scoring the majority of the points. If he's scoring the majority of the points, they're building the car for him. Period. End of story. Nobody wants to believe that. What really got interesting with it, though, is after Checo was bounced, not too long after that, a couple months later, he said it again. I remember when he did it, we talked about it on the show, and I was like, look, this guy's not backing down from this position. He's very adamant about the fact that this car is designed around Verstappen. That's not a dig on Red Bull. You know what I'm saying? That's not a slight to Max. It's just a fact that some people don't want to accept. And now here we are. He's signed with Cadillac, right? About to start a whole new chapter in his career, and he's tripling down on the fact that even Lewis and other drivers of note, Piastri, Norris, would not thrive in the Red Bull environment because of the way the car development works. Very interesting stuff. Now, I do realize this. Checo is saying this in the context of the Christian Horner era. We do see a significant change in the way things are working for Red Bull right now under Laurent Mekies. We do see that. That doesn't mean that they're not still developing that car for Max, because who's putting up the points? I mean, their whole fight for dollars centers on what Max can do with that car. So it just perplexes me, and I'm curious for people listening, like, how can you not just acquiesce to the fact that what the man's saying is true? Checo's not out there lying. He's not throwing shade. He's simply stating what many of us already understand.
I completely agree with you. I mean, honestly, we might need Jay for some kind of disagreement and contrarianism, but I've got nothing like to contradict you. I think his best teammate ever though was Sainz when they were at Toro Rosso. He's had some amazing teammates. So like Gasly, like great teammate. It's also like the context of that conversation and how you define teammate. Like I would think the ideal teammate in Formula One would be someone who's pushing you to be your absolute best. Like there was never really a moment where Max was under threat from Checo, like, but you can look at it in the way of like, well, is that the best teammate for him then?
So
Like,
you raise a very, very valid point. In Formula One, and this is all we're talking about right now. It's not baseball, it's not football, it's not soccer, right? It's Formula One. The best teammate in Formula One is the one that knows their own limitations and knows how to take the better of the two teammates further than they could go without them. That's the best teammate in Formula One, truthfully. And that's where Valtteri Bottas is the guy, ultimate guy, okay? Valtteri, look, has his own aspirations. He has his own skills and abilities. He has his own things that he wanted to achieve. But he also understood the environment each season and what his role was going to be in the context of that environment. Sainz was a great teammate. Look, in fact, I mean, Max has had other great teammates. Daniel Ricciardo, he's had other great teammates. However, Max was at a different development curve in those moments. They were on a different trajectory in those moments. And because of their age and some of their lack of maturity in some respects going back in time, there were moments where those interests didn't converge. They diverged, right? Valtteri Bottas was the only guy with the emotional IQ, in my opinion, in recent years of Formula One that we've witnessed recently, that absolutely knew when to push the issue and when to be a catalyst and a helper. He understood that very, very well. So yes, looking back over, and look, and Yuki's improving, and there's a whole conversation that'll emerge with this Aston Martin rumor, right? That's emerging with the Honda endorsement and all. But yeah, Gasly was a good teammate. Checo was a good teammate. Yuki is turning out to be not a detrimental teammate at all. I mean, he's actually started putting up some points for them this year. But Sainz was definitely a guy that was more.
Dare we talk about Daniel Kvyat?
No, we're not doing that. Sainz is
not a good teammate.
Sainz is another very mature guy. Like he's always been a very mature guy. Mm-hmm. In fact, he's the closest thing to the Valtteri Bottas that you could have in someone that's not Valtteri Bottas, truthfully. So that's why, I have apogee as my byline today, because that's what this season's all about now for me. This season is about, that highest point, that pinnacle point, that climax for someone. Is it Max achieving something yet amazing? Or is it Piastri or Norris achieving that first pinnacle thing for them, right? That's what we're facing right now.
It's definitely a season that will be remembered for sure. Like Drive to Survive kind of writes itself and has an abundance of topics. It's one of the things that makes F1 so great as a sport, and it's very natural and easy to cover because there's so much drama every single week.
Every week.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I love it. Let's go with DRS for the RB.
So that was
what's going on with this thing? So you had posted the tech specs of it and like the actual data for it. And if you're listening to this, you likely follow us on Formula One Fans of America on Facebook. But go to our page, look up this spec. Go ahead and jump in on this.
Yeah, let's jump into it. So the gentleman with the PhD over at F1 data analysis is just a freaking genius. Okay, first of all, I can't state that enough. This guy earned his PhD, I think it was earlier this year, I believe when he earned it. And he's just phenomenal at what he does when he crunches numbers when it comes to Formula One. So he was pouring through his data like he can't stop doing, which is great because we need guys like him. And he came across this really interesting metric. And that is that the DRS on the RB21 is just phenomenal this year. So going back to Mexico, it showed that it reduced drag on the RB21 by 34.7%. Comparatively, the Merc is 34%, the McLaren 27.1%, the Ferrari 21.4%. So demonstrably better DRS performance out of that RB21. Then we go to Austin just a little while ago, and it was 29.3% for the RB, 26.7% for the Merc, 21.9% for the Ferrari, and 21.5% for the McLaren. Different circuits, different results. But the common denominator is the RB gets the best DRS result in the DRS zones of these last two races, and likely the next four, possibly, right? So it raised the obvious questions like, so what does Newey know about that and know of that? And is that being factored into this 2026 car that he's doing for Aston Martin with the active aero? And are we about to possibly see something really crazy emerge in the new regulation period because this was, a Newey influenced vehicle? Or is this something else developmentally with the front or rear wing change, right? Because when we think about the aerodynamics, we always think about the cool desktop thing that has the the arrow, and you can put your little model car in it and watch the arrow. Well, the one thing it doesn't account for, because most of those little model cars don't have actually DRS that opens. But it's kind of interesting, like what is going on there? Like, why is this RB21 getting such an incredible difference in drag reduction when these other cars are all over the map? I mean, if you look at just Mexico and Austin, the McLaren was the lowest in Austin and the third best in Mexico. There's a little flip around there, but the RB stays number one each time. Something's up, something good, not bad, but something really good is up for Max.
It's working. I think there's the Mekis Max effect that's going on, and we've talked about this on previous episodes, but it is where like this tie-in to the engineer styled team principle in lock sync with the driver, and like obviously undeniable at this point that the car is being designed for Max. Like I don't think Yuki would pass a polygraph if he was questioned whether or not the car was designed for Max. I think that Yuki drives a test car with modifications based off of Max's preferences. And I've alluded to that in the past. Like I definitely could see that that's what's happening. Like that's why when like nobody seems to be upset with Yuki's poor performance. And I believe that that's why, because it's all about strategy. Max is nearly single-handedly placing Red Bull into the conversation for second in the constructors.
Oh no, it's not nearly single-handedly. It's definitely single-handedly, because even if you take Yuki's points out of the equation, he's still got him in the mix. I mean, so yeah, it's ridiculous. It's amazing to watch, man. It's amazing to watch somebody that driven, pushing their talents in that moment with what they have to work with that far. This is what we love about the sport.
It is also like I've heard other commentators talk about Max and like question the like, oh, if he wins this drivers championship, he's in the conversation for greatest of all time. And I'm like, if you didn't already have him in the conversation as greatest of all time, like I question your sanity and your literacy of the sport. Like you can watch just the raw talent and ability that he has and crucial moments. So like we always love the Hajar moment from Monaco last year.
Absolutely.
Like barely missed it. Max did one of the same most iconic saves in F1 history, going off the track across the grass, literally drifting in Mexico City.
Oh, yeah.
And this is one of the most iconic things. Like the viewpoint comes from a cell phone camera, but like this was one of the absolute greatest saves in Formula One history. Any other driver would have put that thing into the wall. Only Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton's on that grid too.
Oh yeah. No, there's actually
and calling it like I see it. Only Max Verstappen could have saved it and kept himself up into the top
three
out of that absolute wild turn across the grass.
It's about the cool factor. There's only a few drivers on the grid that have this factor. Okay, Oscar's got it. He's got it. He's got that cool factor where you're getting squeezed, or he just doesn't panic, right? Because panic reaps mayhem. Lando's developing a hell of a cool factor in terms of being able to not panic. He makes mistakes. He gets in his head. He holds himself back with things, but in critical moments, wheel to wheel, he's got a hell of a cool factor too. And then obviously Max and Lewis. So those are the four drivers that really, really have that, right? And others are in development with it, but they have it. That particular moment.
Honorable mention to Charles Leclerc.
I was just about to mention him because of the Mexico thing. So
yes,
that
battle with Lando was epic, and
Not only
he's
that,
well proven.
the first freaking run to the turn where Lewis is right there. Okay, you've got Lewis, you've got Charles, you've got Max. There was a lot going on there.
Teammate move for sure.
Lesser drivers
Leclerc
would
gave
have
Lewis the room that he needed for both of them to maintain position, not have contact. Like there's such a level of wisdom that comes from his experience that he has garnered.
Yes.
Where he was like, okay, and in a split second, before I could finish my sentence, or like a word of it, he can make that decision. And like that just comes from this experience that Lando is catching up on finally. You know,
that's what I was saying. Like he's getting there, right? Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton have had more wheel-to-wheel touches with cars this season with no DNF than anybody on the grid. Literal wings touching, not being broken off, wheel-to-wheel stuff, wheel-to-wing stuff, and not getting crippled by it. Unbelievable. That takes a special extra touch of finesse to do that. Because the oh shit moment that must be a Formula One driver's life when they know that they're rubbing up against somebody else's car is the thing that makes you get indecisive and do the zig when you should have zagged, and boom, it's all over, right? And these guys do it like they're driving on, in New York on Interborough.
It's a way of finding a flow state that like is unlike any other sport, and like the ability, and so that's why I look at the longevity of things with like careers like with Hamilton and Alonso, where these guys have been doing this for 2 decades plus now. And how do you do this week in, week out? Also, just the grueling travel schedule. It boggles my mind.
It's fair. It's fair. I mean, Alonso's biggest nemesis is the car not finishing, not him not finishing. I mean, he's back there sometimes midfield, upper midfield, and he's dealing with all kinds of rookies and mayhem and making it through there like a hot knife through butter, and then the car will crap out on him and then he doesn't get to finish the race.
It just shows you like what divides talent in this sport, and it's the car that you're driving versus the experience that you have versus just the raw and immense talent that you have when you get like a mega like Verstappen. Like it's literally our generation's Schumacher. It's like
Absolutely.
LeBron is this generation's Jordan. Like we can debate who's the greatest, but what's the point? It's really just like he's the absolute undisputed greatest of
his generation. No question.
Yeah, amazing.
No, it's amazing. It's so much fun to watch. So much.
Let's go ahead and jump into Brazil, because if there's rain in Sao Paulo, this is gonna get wacky. This is gonna get fun.
It's gonna be amazing.
I love it. Like, this is my solution to make Monaco interesting. Like, make Monaco great again.
Did you see that they're talking about making it a mandatory 2-stop for every race?
I did not see that.
Came out today. Now, it's not happened yet, but they're looking at making a mandatory 2-stop for every race.
Please do it for Monaco. Please do something. Please do it for the street courses where it's super tight. Azerbaijan, like Baku, like let's do it for there too. Like, if they did it for every race, I mean, that would be a solid strategy for making some of because we can't widen the courses on these street tracks. We can't make them any more interesting unless we do something radical, like we've discussed and chatted about on the show, like my introduce wet onto the track randomly. Unless we do something radical like
the Hunger Games.
How else are we gonna make this interesting?
So I just checked the weather in Brazil real quick, since we're on that right now, just to see if anything's changed, and it looks like some things have changed. It's looking like we're gonna have rain Saturday, which is the 8th, but not Friday and Sunday in Sao Paulo. That's what it's looking like right now. That's a big difference between rain all 3 days, which is what we had. I don't know why that's changed. It's a 55% chance of rain on Saturday. It does say a 55% chance of rain Friday, but it's not showing rain icons. It says some rain and a thunderstorm late. I think on the timing is the race Sunday is at 2 p.m. So if we factor that in and look at Sunday, it's a 49% chance of rain, partly cloudy. And I'm trying to get some time data too, just to see if we could figure this out. But I don't really have anything real solid yet. But it's looking like the chance of rain for the race is declining a little bit. But for qualifying, it's looking good for rain.
I gotta weigh in here. Like, I did study meteorology with the military.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You learn something new about you every day.
My initial job was combat weather, and so I took 6 months.
Did not know that.
Training and
give it a look. Obviously,
so nothing is accurate outside of 72 hours. Outside 72 hours, it's like a loose.
It's a turkey shoot. Yeah. Okay. So here's a question for you.
We'll post an update like 72 hours out, and we'll provide constant weather updates onto our show because this does hinge performance. There's a few drivers that are exceptional in the wet, and it tends to be the tenured ones. So like Alonso could shove an Aston Martin onto the podium if it rains all weekend. Hamilton could finally F-wording podium with Ferrari if it rains in Sao Paulo.
True.
Leclerc and Ocon are both exceptional in the wet.
Oh, I forgot about Esteban.
He gets send it with a Haas.
Yeah, he's actually good in the wet.
And he's good at Brazil.
Lando's good in the wet.
So yeah, but we might see some unfamiliar faces jumping up into the podium.
Didn't the Haas boys make that was Brazil, right? Were they both podium?
Yeah. No, it was Alpine.
It was Alpine. That's right.
Alpine. Both
the wrong team.
Ocon and Gasly podiumed because of the rain.
Right.
That's they right. just caught it, and both of them too. Like Gasly is,
but their strategy team was on point.
Gasly's not in the conversation because he's still driving an Alpine, and it's 2025. And I don't know if they're deliberately being the worst or not. If they were trying to be the worst, they're doing an amazing and incredible job of that. I feel very strong empathy for Gasly this season. I have no idea what's going on with that team. I'm hoping that it's a restructuring year and that they come out with like the fastest car of 2026 in new regs, because 2025 for Alpine is brutal. And I don't know if there's any kind of like investment drama because they have like 20 people invested in this damn racing team.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, are you trying to lose on purpose and file bankruptcy? Like, what are you doing? If you're not, you're doing great at it. You're doing great at failing. It feels like you can't screw this up any worse than you already have. But let's go ahead and wrap it up. I think so. Like, give me your top 3 for rain in Brazil.
In Brazil, okay. So Max, absolutely.
Rain all weekend.
Rain all weekend. It's rain all weekend. Because of the form that Lando's been in, it's going to be Lando, Lewis, and Max will do very well. They'll be in the top 5 at the end of the day. They'll be in the top 5 somewhere. I do agree with you about Ocon. I'm just not all in on him in that way. But Fernando Alonso could definitely be up in the top 7 over the weekend if it rains all weekend. But Max, no question. The car, what the car's doing and what he's doing with it right now, I mean, he's on the podium, no doubt. Many Max fans will say he's absolutely winning that race. I would not say that, but I will put him on the podium. You got some other guys out there that are hungry, that are, in cars that are competent and capable, and they might give him a run for his money. But I definitely see Lando, Lewis, and Max in the top 5 this weekend for sure. Max on the podium, absolutely, no question. Now where, I don't know, but on the podium.
I'm going big bold. I'm going George Russell P1, Lewis P2, and Ocon P3.
I'm writing this down.
Big
Russell,
bold.
Lewis,
Russell P1,
and Ocon.
Lewis and Ocon. Yes.
Okay.
I think it's going to rain. I think we're going to see some crazy qualifying drama. I think Hulkenberg is going to be up there. I also have good vibes for Yuki this week. Send good energy to Yuki Tsunoda. I think he's going to get into Q1, or Q3. He's going to qualify finally.
Look,
he's still going to finish 7th or 8th though.
Yuki
he's going to get into Q3.
Yuki's doing well. Yuki is incentivized. There's a big groundswell of conversation now around Yuki and Aston Martin. Yuki's feeling good. He's been coming to grips with that car because, again, the development of the car is different now under Mekis. It's different. Mekis got there and Yuki's fortunes completely turned around, like instantly. That's a fact. So I'll tell you this, and this wasn't a topic, but
it's not too bold to claim that it's because Mekis listens to his drivers.
Yeah,
and
I'm all for
he
this.
knew better. The failed driver thought that he knew better.
I agree, and I'm all for Yuki at Aston Martin. I really am. Like, I would really, really love to see that. That would be amazing. Truthfully, paired up with Honda, over there with Nui. This whole new package, whole new year, whole new season. I think Yuki deserves and has earned another couple of years in Formula One to really see what his apogee will be as well. And I'm hoping, for him. I wasn't a big Yuki fan back in 2024 when the season started, to be honest with you. He was very dismissed by me in many respects, but I've watched him fight through some things, and the guy's got some chutzpah. He's got some gumption, and there's something to be said for that, for sure. So real impressed with what he's been doing this year. Happy for him. I hope that he lands on his feet and gives us another couple of years of showing what he's made of.
So it's akin to what I was talking about with Gasly, where he's struggling with Alpine, and you'll watch some of these more tenured drivers struggle with the team, struggle through a rough season with the car.
Right.
And Hulkenberg is the primitive example. 19 years, languishing, 19 years, just trying to get on the podium, trying to fill that one moment. And it shows the fortitude of what you need to have to be an F1 driver and to do this week in, week out.
Well, he's a living example of it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect embodiment of just mental resilience and fortitude.
Absolutely.
And you can't be a driver in this sport without it. And people can criticize my best friend Lance Stroll all they want, but he still shows up every week. He still puts up times. He still qualifies.
You're an idiot.
We're going to go ahead and wrap on that moment, but this is our new format. Quick quickies with Fabian. Speed humps.
It's fun.
We'll call them speed humps.
Speed humps. Yeah, right.
Speed humps with
speed
Fabian.
bumps. Yep, there we go.
All right.
I like humps
Appreciate
better.
you,
I like that.
Yeah, speed humps. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Episode 1 of Speed Humps with Fabian. We'll talk to you all after Brazil, and we'll see what happens. Stay on the post. I'll keep posting weather updates.
Sounds good.
And good looking out, brother. I'll see you soon.
All right. Same here. Take care.